ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं वादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेद विभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ओम शांति शांति शांति। वर्ष नंबर 326। विषयस्वाविषच्चेतः संकल्पयति तद्गुणान् सम्यक् संकल्पनात् कामः कामात् पुंस प्रवर्तनम्। I repeat one more time. विषयस्सु आवेशितचेतः संकल्पयति तद्गुणान् सम्यक् संकल्पनात् कामः कामात् पुंस प्रवर्तनम्. The translation is, when the mind turns to sense objects, it becomes intent on their qualities. From this intentness arises desires. After desiring, a person sets about to gain that thing. See the translation again. The mind that is attached to the sense objects reflects on their qualities. From mature reflection arises desires, and after desiring, a man sets about having that thing. Shankaracharya is continuing previous thought process. Visheshu avisat cheta. Let's think. The mind is greatest power for humanity. We should know how to use this energy. We should know the art of work by mind. Because this is the power, and powers are neutral always. It is up to you how to use it. It does not matter how to control mind. The matter is how to use this tremendous power, this tremendous energy. Do not destroy this capacity, this faculty. Mind is just a power. And do not use it against you. Do not use it against yourself. It should be used in favor of ourselves. But most of people use this power against themselves. It is God's gift. It is only power by which we can enter in ourselves. Here Shankaracharya says, Visheshu avisecheta. Think. The mind do not have any particular directions. Mind is not preloaded. Mind is transparent, like mirror, like crystal. It has no its own color. It has no its shape. You can say that it is a pure chance. We put any color, any shape in the mind, and by God's grace, it can be corrected. We have time to correct any time our thinking. So mind should be used in a proper way, in proper order, because mind is transparent, like pure mirror. If you do not have proper color and shapes, then mind takes itself whatever would be available to the mind. And obviously, it is near to the objects. So it will start to work with objects. Objects are always. So mind is with objects. It would be full of objective words like mirror. And one time in the mirror, one thing can be reflected. The mirror can capture only one image. Simultaneously, we cannot mirror two things in the one mirror. So, if one reflection is there, the mirror is full. There is no room for other objects. If you don't want to see other things, then you have to remove it and put another. Mind is transparent. It has its no color, no shape. It is just pure chance. So you put according to your willing, desiring, what color do you want to give to the mind? In other words, we can say that mind is like field. Field. A fertilizer full field. You can show any seed. Mind is a chance. You show any seed, it will sprout. It will give you fruit. Any thought can take root in the mind. Any thought can be sprout in the mind. So mind is an opportunity. Good soil, whatever you want, you can seed, you can grow. So if we give the mind objects, then objects will capture to the mind. The space of the mind, then mind cannot produce any other things. That is why Kabir says, Prem galiyat sakri ya mein do na sama. Sakri means very narrow. The space in the mind is very, very narrow. You can fit only one thing, either the word or the God. only one thing can be picked. So in mind, if it's a reflection of the world, there is no your nature. So similarly, when mind takes thought, it thinks always about thoughts. Thoughts is inside. Objects are outside. So now, outside objects grows. Inside objects are subtle. Everywhere objects are available to the mind. Mind is full of the object. Outside object, within object, without objects, everywhere objects is only objects for mind. So mind becomes full of objective thought, full of objects within my thought, object, without object. And in this condition, mind disappears. Yourself also disappears. Like when we see the mirror, you can see only reflection, not mirror. Mirror is transparent. We see only the reflections. When our mind becomes indulged with the objective thought, then objective thought is inside, objects are outside. So outside objects is gross object, inside objects are subtle objects. So everywhere objects, mind is full of objects. There is no space for mind too. In this way, mind disappears. Your nature disappears. Only my desires, only thoughts are available. Objects are available. In this condition, Shankaracharya is describing Avishet Cheta. Cheta means mind. Avishet, full of Vishayesu, objects. So mind becomes full of objects. Within object and without object. Everywhere objects, only objects, nothing else. And then what happens? Sankalpayati tad gunan. Then because you are giving more importance to the objects, then your mind start thinking the quality of the objects. As we know, the objects have dialectical nature. Dialectical. There are duality. There are happiness and misery simultaneously. They are good and bad. Every object, it is not matter if object is subtle or gross. It is small or big. Every object has nature, by nature, dialectic nature, quality. There is a good, there is bad. Up to you, how you handle, how you encounter the object. But when our mind is obsessed with the object, then it takes only good qualities. Tad gunan, Shankaracharya says, tad gunan, the objective good qualities. We always think that this object is very good, it will give us happiness, and we start thinking about its quality. It is a good, it is a happiness giver. I want it. Samyak sankalpanat kama. So these misconceptions this misconception turns into desire. The conception is, the notion is, this particular object will give me happiness. This particular person give me happiness, not misery, only happiness. This is the misconception. It may be give happiness, but be ready for miseries too. Samyak sankalpanat kamaha. So Shankaracharya says, then we start desiring. I want it. Actually, in deep down, we want happiness. We want just happiness. But medium seems to me us, this object seems to be a medium. It will give me happiness. So that is why desiring starts. Samyak sankalpanat kama. Kama means desire. I want this. I want it. And kamat punsa pravartanam, the sequence is. See the sequence. Kamat kama pravartanam. Then desires comes in our mind. This object, this person, this condition, this situation will give me happiness. So that is why I want it. I have to get it. Anyhow. And we started action to achieve it. Pravartanam. Now activity started. So this is a long process. One action, it is not just action, it has a long process. A mental process. Then finally we are acting. Action is the last of our thinking. Kama punsa pravartanam. This is the action mode. Now next one. Tata sarupa vibranso vibrastu patatyadha patitasya vinanasam punarnaroha ikshate. I repeat again. Tata sarupa vibranso vibrastu patatyadha patitasya vinanasam punarnaroha ikshate. The translation is, through inadvertence, a person may deviate from the real nature. The man who has thus deviated falls. The fallen comes to ruin and is rarely seen to rise again. See the meaning again. Through negligence, a person may deviate from the real nature. The man who has thus deviated falls. The fallen comes to ruin and is rarely seen to rise again. Shankaracharya is saying, hence, one mistake was done by a seeker. It was negligence of their real nature. Then its consequence. The previous verse, we have taken a thought. That thought is continue. Tata Sarupa Vibransa. When we started thinking about any object, mind is objectful. Mind is almost no mind. It lost in the objects. In a spiritual level, there are very famous word, mind, no mind. No mind. It is a state of samadhi. No mind. But if you think deeply, when we are indulged in the objects, sometimes our mind becomes thoughtlessness. There is no mind, only objects. And you have to go opposite side. We are lost in objective world. We are lost in the objective world. Only objects are everywhere. We are not anywhere. Even our mind is also lost. Just objects outside, objects inside. Shankaracharya says, Tata Sarupa Vibranso. Because of this objective prakriya, objective thought, the seeker becomes deviated from this nature. The seeker forgets his reality. This is his fall. Falling does not mean he has done some sinful action. Here, we are studying high level scriptures of the Vedanta. In a spiritual level, there are so many falls. If you are doing any yoga method practicing, you may fall. But you can do again. You are in the world, you may fall, you may lose your property, but you may gain again. It does not matter. It depends on destiny. Anytime things can come, things can go. Here, Vibrashtastu patatyadha, Shankaracharya says, when someone forget his nature, this is his fall. Patitasya vinanasam punarnaro ikshate. See, if we are not our nature, then anything, if we are not established in our own nature, anything, any action could be sinful. If you are established your own nature, scriptures say that any sin cannot touch you. You are beyond all sins. You are beyond of the sin. No sin can touch you. So it is like that. If you forget yourself, this is the biggest sin of the world. In scripture's language, we call it Atma Hatya. I can translate it suicide. Suicide means what? Suicide means Atmahan. The scripture says Atmahan. Atma means soul and means the murderer. The person is soul murderer, only person who forget the soul. Soul cannot be murdered. Soul cannot be destroyed. It can be only forgotten. It's forgotten is its murder. If you forget yourself, then all sins could be happened. It is like that. Everything would be uncontrolled. Shankaracharya ji, like other incarnation of the God, they are also in this world. They are not caught in the world. They are in world beyond of the world. world does not touch to them. The incarnation of the God, the realized person, like Shankaracharya, they are very busy, but any sin cannot touch them. They are controlled because they are self-centered. Like we see when a plane is flying in the sky. It may be 45, 50,000 heights. And the plane landed properly. When plane lands in the runway, no one gets hurt because it is controlled. Before some time, it was flying 40, 50,000 feet height, but it landed properly in control. But when it lands, no one gets hurt. But think, when a plane is 1,000 feet height and it is not controlled, so it is not landed, it is fallen. Landing means you are in control. Fallen means you are not controlled. Anything can happen. Patitasya punanasam, Shankaracharya says, when someone is not in control, anything could be happen. Punarnaroi ikshate, and once fallen has happened, then it is very difficult to attain that high point again. It is not impossible, but it is very difficult. Now, next one. Sankalpam varjay tasmat sarva anarthasya karanam apathyani hi vastuni vyadhigrasto yato srajet. I repeat one more time. Sankalpam varjay tasmat sarva anarthasya karanam apathyani hi vastuni vyadhigrasto yato srajet. The translation is, therefore, just as the edible prohibited by the doctor are not taken by the sick, one should totally give up the habit of thinking of sense objects, which is the root cause of all mischiefs. See the translation. Therefore, just as the edible prohibited by the doctor are not to be taken by the sick, one should totally give up the habit of thinking of sense objects, which is the root cause of all mischiefs. Here, to make things easy, Shankaracharya ji is giving an example. Very simple example, very practical example. Anyone can understand this example. The example is when a sick person undergoes treatment. The doctor gives treatment. He gives sometimes medicines and suggests to eat some food and which will support to be becoming healthy. And most important is, the thing is, doctor gives instructions what should have not been taken by the sick person. He will say, you eat this and you should not eat this. To understand this in this time, doctors say you have allergy. allergy. Our body is not ready to accept that particular thing. It may be in shape of edible object, or it may be smell, or it may be touch. Whenever objects comes contact with the person who is allergic, immediately its effect starts happening in the body. Body reacts. Body does not accept. Its reaction is very so many times. It may be rashes, it may be in skin, so many reactions may be. So for its suppression, someone can take a medicine. So doctor gives the medicine. Take it, these pills, and you would be okay. And we start taking the pills. Slowly, the pills does not work. The tendency of the illness becomes more. Then doctor gives more powerful pills. You take this one. Slowly, that pill also does not work. Then we start more another medicine. But disease is still in the body. So it is better to first remove the disease from the body, cure the disease, not suppress the disease. In our traditional method system like Ayurveda always advocates about 4 things. He says disease, diagnosis, cure, health. We should know what disease I have, what disease we have. So Ayurveda says, first you know what disease is. Sometimes we cannot understand what disease I have. So we go to doctors. Doctor also is not able to understand what disease is in the body. Then he says, okay, let's try some test. This test, that test. After so many tests, he may come to know you have this particular allergy. In Ayurveda, the most important thing is to know what disease you have. Nidan. And they try to uproot this disease. So that is why the Ayurveda starts, you should take this medicine, this food, and you don't take this food. They try in very food level. Food is like a medicine. You are eating food. Food is like medicine. Food is not a poison. Food is a medicine. The only thing is how to eat, what to eat, when to eat. And medicine comes last. The first thing is, doctor will say, you don't eat this and that. Second level is, he will say that you take this and that food. If this does not work, then he will say, you take this medicine. Medicine is the first, last. If there is no any option, then you have to take medicine. Apatya. This is the example which is given by Shankaracharya here. Now, same. Sankalpam varajayet tasmat sarva anarthasya karanam. This line is very important. This line is very important. Like if our body is not healthy, if our body is not fit, and we want to climb mountain, we want to try to climb to Mount Everest, and we are sick. How is it possible? You cannot. If you cannot walk because you are unhealthy, your body is not supporting you, your body is not supporting your will because of weakness, because of sickness, then you forget about mountain. You cannot walk. So our unhealthy body is not fit for the world. Same, your unhealthy mind is not fit for the spiritual journey. Mind should be healthy. So understand what disease is in the mind. Mental disease. Like body should be healthy. Alike, there are some subtle processes which are allergic for our mind. We should have healthy mind, not a sick mind. But do not think about sickness of mind. We want to get spiritual heights by sick mind. No. First, make your mind healthy. Swasth. Your mind should be swasth. Your body cannot work in the world if it not healthy. Your mind cannot work in a spiritual path if mind is not healthy. So first make mind healthy. Sankalpam varajayet tasmat sarva anartha karanam. Shankaracharya says, Sankalpa. Thinking about objective words is the disease for the mind. As we discussed previous verse, mind is like crystal, transparent. Whatever you put near it, it reflects its color. Color may be red, yellow, green. Its work is just reflect, nothing to do with the color. You are putting. You are the responsible, and you blame the mind. Mind is not good. Mind is like this, mind like that. You are not taking any responsibility. Sankalpam varajayet tasmat. Shankaracharya says, be careful. You have to remove. You have to control your desires. Sankalpam. Don't desire. Don't desire. Because the desires are the root cause of all miseries. You will get objects, desires, objects are you don't get desired objects. In both conditions, misery is going to happen. You will succeed, you don't succeed, it makes no difference. One thing is clear. Happiness will come or not, it is not clear. But one thing is very clear. Definitely it's going to happen, you will be miserable. Because you have committed sin. And sin is the desire. Sankalpam varade tasmat. Sarv anartha karanam. This is the cause of all miseries. So Shankaracharya says, you have to remove these desires. Like in our body, which things are not fit for our body, doctor says, just don't take it. Same Shankaracharya says, desires not suitable for your mind, so don't take desires. Your mind is held by nature. It will going to support you. Now, last one. Ata pramadan na parosti mrityuhu vivekino brahmavidas samadhu samahita siddhimupaiti samyak samahitatma bhava savadhana. I repeat one more time. Ata pramadan na parosti mrityuhu vivekino brahmavidas samadhu samahita siddhimupaiti samyak samahitatma bhava savadhana. See the translation. Very beautiful verse. Therefore, to the discriminating knower of the Brahman, there is no greater death than negligence, but one who regularly practices deep concentration attains complete success. Hence, carefully concentrate upon Brahman in your mind. The meaning again one more time. Hence, to the discriminating knower of Brahman, there is no worse death than negligence with regard to concentration, but the man who is concentrated attains complete success. Therefore, carefully concentrate your mind on Brahman. Very beautiful verse. Now Shankaracharya ji concluding. You remember the question was, which was asked by Dhritarashtra Sanat Kumar. The question was about death. The answer was given by the Sanat Kumar. It was very different, unexpected. Some may say, yes, there is death. And some could say, no, there is no death. But it makes no difference in our life. What is phenomenon is going to happen? It will have to happen. No one can change. You know about death, or you don't know about death, it makes no difference. Those who did not accept death, they also did. And those who accept death, they are also going to death. Our philosophy, our thought cannot change this phenomenon reality. Denial of death or acceptance of the death is not matter. If we are happy or not happy, this is going to happen. Even, do you remember, same question was asked by Nachiketa. And very beautiful Upanishad, Katha Upanishad. Nachiketa also asked the same question. And that time the master was Yamaraj. Nachiketa asked, very beautiful story, very beautiful dialogue between a small child and deity of the death, Yamaraj. In third level, Nachiketa asked, he said, there is this doubt about a man when he is dead. Some say that he exists. Others say that he does not exist. This I would like to know, taught by you. This the third my bone. Do you remember he was given 3 boons by Yamaraj? So he said, this is my third question. I do not want anything. I want to know about reality, the reality of the death. Nachiketa said, oh death, it is very difficult to know if there any death or not. The Yamaraj said, you don't ask this question. You can ask so many things I can give you. And he gave so many, he was ready to give so many things. But Nachiketa said, no. If death is there, then whatever I have, it makes no sense. If death is there, how many things I have, one day it will going to die. Meaningless. So I want to know about death. Yamaraj said, your question is very big. Even gods also in confusion about death. Then Nachiketa said, even the gods have their doubts about this subject. And you have declared it is not to be so easy to understand, but another teacher like you cannot be found. Because you are the destiny, you are the deity of the death. Yamaraj, he knew every secret of the death. Yamaraj supposed to know everything about death. He is the destiny, he is the deity, he is the master, he is the lord of the death. And finally, when Yamaraj started giving answer of the question, he did not give any direct answers. He knew all secrets of death. If there were any direct purposeful answers, he would have given. But it could not happen. Our only purpose is we don't want to die. See, we don't ask about birth. Birth is there or not. We don't have any question. It had happened. But we don't think about the birth. We celebrate. We ask always question about death. Because we are afraid. We are fearful. We don't want to die. We don't want to accept that reality which is going to happen. That is why this question, we want always asking rounding by round by round. Our question is not about death. And deep down, our question is about myself. After that incident, what will happen? Myself. I will remain or not? My question is not about death. My question is about myself. That we don't know how to ask. We know about the birth. We don't have any idea about the birth, but we don't ask about the birth because it has happened. But birth and death are not two things. They seems to be different, but they are not. We do not have any question about the birth. It should be asked about that. Then question will be complete. We always ask half question. We ask what death is. We never ask what birth is. So we ask only half questions. And see, when you ask a question about death, immediately we will get many answers, many informations. The interesting thing is, which giving answer about your question, they also do not have any more knowledge as much you have. The knowledge about the death is equal. No one knows more. Anyone do not have any experience. They may read somewhere. You may listen somewhere. But no one has direct experience. Just things is just in knowledge, information. You type in the Google what death is, Google will reply immediately. There are so many definitions according to medical science, according to some religions, according to some religions. That person, this person. All definitions are false. No one has any authentic information. All are saying without any experience. You can start saying about death because you don't have any experience and other two don't have any experience. So that is why. See the method Sanat Kumar or Yamaraj. They are not giving direct answer. What death is, Yamaraj says in Upanishad, very different way. Here, Sanat Kumar says, Pramado vai mrityuhu. He is not saying that in death, this will happen, this will happen. He is not interested. In fact, he was the mental divine son of the Brahmaji, the creator of the universe. But he says, Pramado vai mrityuhu. The death is if you forget in yourself. Then death is. No one can protect you. No one can protect you. Any medicine, any method, any religion, any master, any parents, any society, any hospital, no one can save you. Vivekino Brahma Vidas Samadho. He says, the Viveki, the intelligent, the seeker, which is established in Samadhi. Samadhi means his own nature. Samadhi does not mean here yoga samadhi. No, samadhi means when you are established in your nature. Samahita siddhimupait samyak. Now see, he says, which is samahita? Samahita established in his nature. He will get siddhi. Here siddhi word does not mean divine powers. In so many scriptures, there are so many siddhis, divine powers. Someone may listen far away, someone may see the far away, someone may float in the water, someone may fly in the sky. There are so many siddhis, divine powers. Shankaracharya says, no, these are not siddhis. They are useless. They cannot save you. You can run on the water. You can fly in the sky, but they cannot save you. Siddhi ultimate. You will reach your goal. If you are in samadhi, in your essential nature, then you will reach samadhi. Samahitatma bhavasavdhana. Shankaracharya's last warning is bhavasavdhana, be careful. He's saying, he's warning to everyone, to every seeker. Bhavasavdhana, be careful. Don't miss this chance. This chance is very rare. You have got, almost reached, and you have done lots of work for this purpose. You have invested so many things. Almost you are there. Almost you are reached. So don't miss this chance. This is the compassion of Shankaracharya. He doesn't want to. The seeker, which has done lots of effort, lots of investment, he misses chance. That is why he says, Bhavasadhana, be careful, don't forget yourself. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Vadarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya Dakshina Murtaye Namaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.